Daily Words of God.
What should you pursue now? Whether or not you are capable of bearing witness for God's work, whether or not you are able to become a testimony and a manifestation of God, and whether or not you are fit to be used by Him, these are the things you should seek. How much work has God really done in you? How much have you seen? How much have you touched? How much have you experienced and tasted? Regardless of whether God has tested you, dealt with you, or disciplined you, His actions and His work have been carried out on you. But as a believer in God, and as someone who is willing to pursue being perfected by Him, are you able to bear witness for God's work on the basis of your practical experience? Can you live out God's Word through your practical experience? Are you able to provide for others through your own practical experience and expend your whole life to bear witness for God's work? To bear witness to God's work, you must rely on your experience, knowledge, and the price you have paid. Only thus can you satisfy His will. Are you someone who bears witness to God's work? Do you have this aspiration? If you are able to bear witness to His name, and even more, to His work, and if you can live out the image that He requires of His people, then you are a witness for God. How do you actually bear witness for God? You do it by seeking and longing to live out God's Word, and by bearing witness with your words, allowing people to know His work and to see His actions. If you truly seek all of this, then God will perfect you. If all you seek is to be perfected by God and be blessed in the very end, then the perspective of your faith in God is not pure. You should be pursuing how to see God's deeds in real life, how to satisfy Him when He reveals His will to you, and seeking how you ought to bear witness to His wondrousness and wisdom, and how to bear witness for how He disciplines and deals with you. All of these are things you should now be pondering. If your love for God is solely so that you can share in God's glory after He perfects you, then it is still inadequate and cannot meet God's requirements. You need to be able to bear witness to God's work, satisfy His demands, and experience the work He has done on people in a practical way. Whether pain, tears, or sadness, you must experience all of these things in your practice. They are meant to perfect you as one who bears witness for God. What is it exactly that now compels you to suffer and seek perfection? Is your present suffering truly for the sake of loving God and bearing witness for Him? Or is it for the sake of blessings of the flesh, for your future prospects and fate? All of your intentions, motivations, and the goals that you pursue must be rectified and cannot be guided by your own will. If one person seeks perfection to receive blessings and to reign in power, while another person pursues perfection to satisfy God, to bear practical witness to God's work, which of the two means of pursuit would you choose? If you were to choose the first, then you would still be too far away from God's standards. I once said that my actions would be openly known across the entire universe, and that I would reign as king in the universe. On the other hand, what you have been entrusted with is to go out to bear witness to God's work, not to become kings and appear to the whole universe. Let God's deeds fill the cosmos and the firmament. Let everyone see them and acknowledge them. These words are spoken in relation to God Himself, and what human beings should do is to bear witness for God. How much of God do you know now? How much of God can you bear witness to? What is the purpose of God perfecting man? Once you understand God's will, how should you show consideration toward His will? If you are willing to be perfected and to bear witness to God's work through what you live out, if you have this driving force, then nothing is too difficult. What people need now is faith. If you have this driving force, then it is easy to let go of any negativity, passiveness, laziness, and notions of the flesh, philosophies for living, rebellious disposition, emotions, and so forth.